This is my intro music. Welcome to the video. I hope you like it lots, so don't forget to subscribe and click the thumbs up button. Now let's react.
Hey, hi, hello there. Welcome to the show. Um so I was gone over the weekend. Look, man, I have a life. I went to go see the new Naked Gun movie. It is chef's fucking kiss. The first person who tells me that movie is terrible, I will disown you. That movie was so good. I cannot wait to watch it again in the privacy of my own house so that I can cackle like a goddamn witch while I watch that movie. It was so good. Liam Neeson, so good. The whole cast, so good. I have nothing but good things to say about this movie. It will be my anchor through the rest of this because, oh my God, you guys. My whole weekend was great. I hung out with friends. I went to Chinatown. We went to a hot pot Wagyu place. Like, all they do is Wagyu. That was really cool. Yes, it was very bougie, very expensive. It was delicious. We got to compare, because we're not that bougie, we got to compare Australian Wagyu to American Wagyu. Very delicious, both of them. There is a difference. Who knew? We did not get to compare the Japanese, but we will do that next time. It is pricey, which is why we did not do the Japanese right off the bat. What else did I do this weekend? I went to go see the Lantern Festival here downtown. Very awesome. I got some Health Aid kombucha. I'm telling you, no, this is the pink lady. Where's my watermelon? This is the empty bottle. I have a different one. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I had a good time this weekend. And then Mr. Snowflake put out a video. Thanks. Actually, yeah, well, it's sort of. All right, so that's why we are here. We are here, dearly beloved. We are gathered here today to watch Amberlynn Reid melt the fuck down. And we are going to enjoy it. I have watched Kicking Geese. I have watched Milk Tea Reacts. We are going to rewatch. Yep, we sure are. Mr. Snowflake's video on this. I just wanted to watch the first few seconds of this video because something interesting happens here. I just want everybody to watch it with me because I want this to be on record. Not her watching herself in the mirror. Is it me or are her wings getting longer and longer? Or they're eventually just going to be all the way out to here?
Corky, welcome to Stream Queen's Mini.
Yeah, Quirky, welcome to the girl world. For somebody who doesn't want to be part of girl world, you sure are immersed in girl world. What are you doing? Why are you so part of girl world if you don't want to be part of girl world? What are you doing? Anyway, I wanted to just kind of document that. All right, why we're really here is this. Sure. It looks like he's gone back and edited parts of Amber's live meltdown into his original video. So if that is indeed what has happened, it does make for an interesting video. But it also means that I don't have the ability to watch the original, but I don't think it matters because I don't think he's edited anything out of the original. So I think he just added Amber's meltdowns into the appropriate spots. So that's fine. That saves me trouble. So it also saves other people trouble who have been asking me questions because unfortunately they expect me to know things that I don't know because I took the weekend off. But hang on. All right. This video is 36 minutes long. I'm going to speed it up at 125. We're going to watch it at that playback speed. As I said, I've watched. All right, I was there in the live last night for Amber's last night live, where she decided to go look up the definition of what a BPD rage slash meltdown was. That was interesting. And then she convinced herself that that's what was happening. Her lives are just, in general, unbearable. I'm not looking forward to the new live era. I don't particularly like her lives to begin with, and they're not going to be any better than they were last time, because at least last time she had somebody to talk to in the background. We don't even have that now. I know in her live last night, she said that her and Emily had been dating as of 3 days ago. And here's my thing. I think maybe they've been having an on-off thing, right? So I would like to know what exactly it is that set Emily off this time to make her agree to talk to Mr. Snowflake this time. Because it sounds like every time Emily and Amber had a particularly bad fight, Emily would post to the internets, right? At least that's how it seems to me. I could be very wrong, not in the room, but it does sound like every time the two of them have had a particularly bad fight, Emily posts something on the internet. Now, someone else also pointed out that this could be a very one-sided thing, because one thing we know about Amber for sure, when she breaks up with somebody, she holds them hostage, right? She's done this with every girlfriend that she's broken up with. And so maybe Amber thinks that they have been together until 3 days ago when Snowflake dropped this video. And that could also be true. And that could also be like the actual truth again. I'm just speculating here. And normally Amber is able to hold her ex-girlfriends hostage by keeping them in the house with her because they're typically living together. And so she's able to like make them continue to sleep with her, or coerce them into sleeping in the same bed with her, driving her around, still basically taking care of her, even after they've broken up. And her and Emily were not living together. So probably what has happened in this scenario is Amber has continued to, DM and Snapchat Emily, even though they have been broken up all of this time. So that could also be a possibility. So it is possible that in Amber's head, they have been together all this time, but in Emily's head, they have not been, because Emily broke up with her when she dropped her ass back off in Oklahoma. That could very well be. And so all of this time, Emily has been acting as if they are broken up, and in Amber's head, they are together. So there's that. Which of these is true? I don't know. Also, I didn't go through a lot of effort to get fancied up for this, so there you have it. I was watching Omegon's live of this, and frankly, I'd rather be watching that than doing this, because this is a lot, you guys. This is a lot. I'm reacting to this because I know you guys want me to react to this. I think this is a shit show, to be perfectly honest with you guys. I don't particularly have strong feelings about Emily, really, honestly, one way or the other. Emily's just another one of the exes to me. I don't think Emily's a clout chaser particularly. I don't honestly have strong opinions about Emily. I really don't. I think she's just another one of the exes. I think Emily was attracted to Amber because Emily has particular tastes that Amber suits. And I think Amber enjoyed that aspect of Emily because Emily's tastes require that Amber doesn't lose weight, and Amber has no fucking intention of losing weight. Another thing that is something that is a little interesting to me is kind of illuminated through this particular version of Snowflake's video, like the cut of this version of the video. I don't know if this is how the original one went or not, but when throughout this video, Snowflake cuts in clips of the other exes' interviews with him, or just interviews that they have all done throughout the years on YouTube talking about their relationships with Amber, and they all have similar stories. And this is something we talked about with Valentine when, God, I forget their real names, but when Valentine and her wife were trying to clout chase and how they were bringing up their I cheated on my wife with Amberlynn Reid story. They were saying a lot of things. And one of the things that people were pointing out was they're not saying anything new that we didn't already know. And it's entirely possible that they were making all of that up because we were aware from past exes that these things were true. They were basically repeating things verbatim that past exes have said. So it's entirely possible that they just fabricated their stories based off of stories that the past exes have told, right? It's possible, all right? We're taking things with a grain of salt here. I am not a fan of the Valentine duo. I personally think that they're about as reliable as Amber is, in my opinion. So I don't like when they like to pop their heads up out of the sand and remind us all that they exist. So I think they are also liars who lie, and I don't trust a fucking word that comes out of their mouths. So there you have that. But we should also keep that in mind when we're listening to Emily's accounts here. What is interesting, though, and I think it does help this story or Emily's story, is this particular edit that we're going to watch, which I think is the current version of the video that you will watch if you go to Snowflake's channel. He cuts in Amber's very first meltdown over this video, and it's Amber recounting her versions of certain stories that Emily told via text to him. And the fact that Amber is telling her side of these stories does reinforce for me that these are true accounts. So Amber trying to counter these stories that Emily is telling does actually reinforce for me that these are real accounts that Emily is sharing with us, right? So in her attempt to invalidate Emily's stories, it actually, for me, reinforces that these are actual true stories. So that's kind of nice. Or at least that works in Emily's favor. So does that particularly, for me, make Emily a bastion of truth? No, it just means that these particular stories that Emily shared with Snowflake do have some validity to them because we have a secondary source, that being Amber, who is reinforcing that these stories did indeed happen, right? And I know somebody's going to get mad with me. This is what we do. This is how anthropology works. We do not take sides. Typically, we try not to take sides. Okay, we're not perfect people. Biases do exist. Let's not sit here and pretend. But we have our main informant, right? In this situation, Snowflake would be the interviewer. He would be the anthropologist, if one would. Emily is our main informant. They're our primary informant, right? Our secondary informant in this situation would be Amber. And Amber's information is reinforcing the story that Emily is giving us, right? So Amber's information is actually reinforcing Emily's stories, right? So our secondary informant is reinforcing our primary informant. Does that mean if we never had a secondary informant that the primary informant's information is incorrect? No. That doesn't mean that in anthropology. It just means that we have to take the primary informant's information at face value, right? However, since we do have a secondary informant whose information does correlate and does reinforce the primaries, that's great because that means that is more reliable than me just going, well, I have to take it at face value because now I know that there's more information to reinforce that than just I have to accept it, because now I don't have to just accept it. There are other people who can validate it, right? So that's good. That's what we want a lot of times in these kind of situations, especially when it comes to stories like this. We want as many witnesses or as many people who can be like, yeah, I was there, or this is what happened, who can correlate the story, who have a similar experience. People are not going to have identical experiences. Even people who are at the identical situation, they're not going to have identical situations. We are not the police. We are not trying to get the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, because that doesn't exist, right? But this whole thing with Amber having her meltdown after this video comes out and after Emily shares her perspective on things, and then Amber tries to share her perspective on things, the fact that Amber is trying to counter every story that Emily tells reinforces that those events did happen, right? So, all right, that is plenty of explanation and plenty of preamble. Let's get into this, because though I don't have as much empathy for Emily as I have for Amber's other exes. A, we didn't really have enough time to really get to know Emily as an individual. And B, as I said before, I don't really have an opinion of Emily. I really don't. Not like I did for like Casey, and like I have an opinion of Destiny, and I have an opinion of Beck, but they were in our lives longer, right? So we had longer to kind of get attached to those individuals. Emily, not so much. I was going to say Casey, not so much, but technically Casey wasn't really. Anyway, that's the whole thing. We'll come back to that maybe at a later date. It's really not relevant to the conversation. But the point is, Emily wasn't really with us long enough for us to get invested in Emily as a character so much. So I honestly didn't expect it to last that long. And it lasted longer than I thought it would. All right. So, as I said, I have him sped up. I think I kind of have explained how and why I'm approaching it the way I have. Like, the only thing I can really offer you guys is a different perspective on this, because that's really all I do here. I really just kind of give you guys a different perspective on this. If you don't like it, it's unfortunate, and that's all I can say for you guys. So the best I can do here is just kind of offer you a slightly different perspective than you might find on another channel, and that's only because I'm going to be like, it's kind of anthropology? ? So let's go with it. All right. Thank you to everybody who's been supporting the channel. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to my members. I'm very sorry this isn't going to go out to you guys first, but it's kind of time sensitive, so yell at Amber. Thank you to everybody who is going to leave a thumbs up, and let's just get going.
I don't even know where to begin or start.
At the beginning typically is where you start.
Hi everyone, this is me talking with Emily.
I mean, technically you're not talking with her, you're texting with her, but sorry.
Right, here we go. Hi Emily, hope all is well. What made you want to come out now and discuss your time with Amber? Honestly, I was content staying silent for a long time.
I would like to know who contacted who. I don't know how this man manages it. I don't know what black magic he performs. Being sarcastic, but honestly, I would like to know who contacted who. Did Emily contact Snowflake? Did Snowflake reach out to Emily? I would also like to know when that contact occurred. Did Emily know this video was going to be made? These are just things I would like to know, because the sequence of events that leads to this video is important to me, especially since Snowflake does these Victims of an Empath series that are about Amber's exes. And Emily has been duped numerous times by people dubiously reaching out to her via her DMs. I am not saying he is one of those individuals who would do that. I would just like to know for certain, without a doubt, that he did or she did reach out to him and the conversation was had that, hey, this is going into a video, and that Emily was 100% aware of that, so that at no point in the future can Emily be like, well, I didn't know that was going to happen. I would just like to have that front and center for everybody's edification, because I would just like to have that out front. I don't think Snowflake operates like that in any way, shape, or form. That's not what I'm trying to put out there. I just like the CYA aspect of it. Also, I'm just curious who contacted who first, because if Emily reaches out to, in my head, this is how it's going in my head. If Emily reached out to Snowflake first, especially if it's after the argument that Amber claims happens, then that to me is Emily being like, that to me can be interpreted as Emily's doing this out of some form of revenge, right? If Snowflake reached out to Emily at some point and was like, hey, you want to tell your story? I want to make a video. Get back to me. And eventually Emily was like, you know what? I've fucking had enough. All right, let's go. That's a totally different conversation in my head, right? That was him opening or like tapping on the door and Emily being like, let's go. As opposed to Emily going to Snowflake with her story. The result is the same, right? This video still occurs, and I just want it to be very well known that Emily knew this video was going to happen, so that Emily doesn't have the ability to back out of this later on. Because again, I don't think that's how Snowflake operates, and I don't want her to be able to come out and be like, oh my God, I totally didn't know he was going to read my DMs online, because we've seen that happen. Anyway, so those are just like the two questions I really have at the very beginning of this, and I think those take like 5 seconds to clarify. So,
but I'm tired of watching her dodge any real accountability.
Amber and accountability do not exist in the same universe.
She creates her own reality and then expects everyone to play along. The sad part is most people do because they're either scared of her or don't want to deal with the drama. But I hit a point where I just couldn't sit back and watch her keep rewriting the truth. So I say, well, I'm glad you have decided to speak up, so I guess we start at the beginning. I'm guessing everything was fine at the start of the relationship, or were there any little red flags? She says.
You mean aside from Amber being a 600-pound toddler?
At first, everything was great. I really thought I had found someone who was kind, laid back.
I saw that pause.
And just fun to be around. She was able to carry on a conversation, and it's hard to find these days. Looking back now, I obviously was looking at everything through rose-coloured glasses. She really made it seem like she was this grounded, supportive person.
Grounded? Who are the people in your life that this is grounded? Seriously.
I told her upfront that I was grieving Colleen, and still will be. She said she understood, respected that. She said it wouldn't be an issue at all. That was super important to me, for her to be accepting of it, and for a little while it felt good. We actually had fun together. We laughed, joked around, and it was chill. I genuinely enjoyed spending time with her before she started showing me who she really is. I guess it was a typical scenario of love bombing. After everything I had been through, it was just nice to feel wanted and not so alone anymore. And I say, was it still nice when she came to stay with you? How long was she meant to stay for?
Now, there's a video there Amber mentions that she was going to go visit Emily for 2 weeks. And then Amber decides to gaslight us all and be like, I never said that.
Emily says, there were a few little red flags early on, like how Amber would get upset if I didn't FaceTime her for hours every single day. Or if I was busy at work and didn't have time to message her.
Yes, I was very codependent with Destiny, and I can admit that. I can absolutely admit that.
He does have this tagged as a Destiny era video, just FYI for those of you listening at home.
I will admit that 100%. I wanted either like a text or like a call just to be like, I love you. My day's been good. That's all. That's all. Because I was home alone 24/7. I'm not perfect.
This video's tagged as a Beck era video.
Beck wasn't perfect. Like, I was super controlling of their time, of like their energy. I always wanted them near me. Like, always.
And this is why I'm saying, like, it's easy to be skeptical of Emily's story here, because this whole she would get upset if I didn't FaceTime her for hours every single day, or if I was busy at work and didn't have time to message her. These are things that we have heard other exes say, right? And these are things that Valentine tried to say, and maybe Valentine was telling the truth. I don't know. I don't trust those people. But it would be very easy for Emily to repeat these things to us being Girl World, and to be believed, because this is past behavior that can be verified. And also we expect this behavior of Amber going forward, right? So whether or not it actually happened or not is unverifiable, honestly. But we expect it, and we would accept it as truth, right? And it's not until Amber makes a Emily era video where she'll eventually say, yes, I expected Emily to talk to me, yada, 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 that we will have Amber verifying for us that this was true. I'm not saying Emily is lying. I'm just saying we need to be aware that it is very easy for ex-girlfriends of Amber's to compile stories that sound like other exes' stories, because those have all been recorded at this point, right? We have a record of all of Amber's exes, with the exception of Crystal, going back to Casey, right? Crystal's the only early girlfriend that we don't have an account from. Jade is the only modern girlfriend we don't have an account from. So every other girlfriend that Amber's had, we have a tell-all from, or a tell something from, right? And most of them are on Snowflake's channel. I think all of them, except for Valentine's stuff, is on Snowflake's channel now. So it's not hard to find this information, and it's not hard to cobble together your own story, right? I'm just putting it out there. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't trust Emily's story or that Emily's lying. I'm just wanting people to remain skeptical to some degree. Now, again, he will start splicing in pieces of Amber's live going forward that do verify, for me, in my opinion, that Emily is not lying. So if Emily is not lying in the larger parts of this interview, I don't have a reason to expect her to be lying in the smaller parts of this interview, right? This is a small type of behavior. Why would we lie about this little red flag when we verify the larger red flags, right? Is kind of where I'm going with this. That's just me, though. You don't have to agree with me.
Take it personally and get upset. During my first visit to Oklahoma, things actually seemed to go really well. But it was a short trip, and we were still in that honeymoon phase. It was during my second visit that things started to feel off. She would get irritated if I checked my phone or responded to messages that weren't about her or focused on her. That visit also happened right after she posted who I was, and the doxing stuff that followed, so tensions were high, so I kind of brushed it off at the time, thinking it was just stress. But everything really started to change when Amber came to visit me. She was originally only supposed to stay for a week or two. Tops. It wasn't going to be some extended thing. We were planning on probably around 2 weeks. I think she stayed like 3 months, wasn't it? 3 or 4 months? 2 weeks. Because that's when I'd be off work and able to take her home. But by day two, I've only seen these. Was it last night? I haven't slept for ages, didn't I? I've only seen these.
Do you sleep? Do you sleep?
Once, as I was talking to Emily. So I probably forgot most of it. Because that's when I'd be off work and able to take her home. But by day 2 of her being at my house, things already started to shift. It was weird how high-strung she was that early on. Day 2. I don't know what shifted, or it was the change in environment, but she just acted off. She really didn't like that I had a life outside of her. I mean, I work 12-hour shifts. I have a family, friends, pets, a house to take care of. I have responsibilities, but anything that wasn't about her felt like an inconvenience to her, and she made that very clear. Well, by day 2, Jesus. I'd get home from a 12-hour shift, completely exhausted from a stressful job, and she'd get upset if I wanted to go straight to bed. She'd say things like, "Oh, you're not going to hang out with me," or ask me to take her to the casino or go shopping. And if I said no, she'd get upset and compare it to her working on vlogs all day. Oh yeah.
If Amber actually did put like effort into her vlogs, I could see the argument, because between recording and editing and all of that, and she actually edited her videos, it does take a lot of time, and it is kind of mind-numbing. It's not the same as working in a hospital for 12 hours, taking care of people and making calls and, medicating. And I don't know what nurses do. I'm sorry, I'm not a nurse. But I'm pretty sure it's more stressful than recording and editing videos. Like, the biggest problem that I have with it is it's kind of mind-numbing, honestly. And you feel kind of brain dead afterwards, which is its own kind of stress, right? And it is time consuming. That is still time, but it's not the same, right? It's not the same kind of stress. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh my God, I put in the same level as work of like a brain surgeon working a 36-hour shift. I'm not going to pretend like that. Honest to God, I'm really not. But I will say, on days where I'm putting out multiple videos or I'm recording multiple videos, I mean, I'm kind of fried by the end of the day. I'm not particularly sociable. I'm a little out of it. It's rough, but I also choose to do it. Amber. Also, you don't work that hard, Amber.
Someone actually gave me the idea. 3-minute
This video, by the way, is while she was at Tommy's house.
vlogmases. Like, and if you go over 3 minutes, then awesome, that's amazing.
Yeah.
At least you're uploading every single day, even if it's 3 minutes. And I'm like, you know what? That's kind of a good idea.
I don't even know if she managed that, by the way. I don't even remember if her Vlogmas, if she even managed to do a Vlogmas's worth of 3-minute vlogs. I can't remember.
Saying she still had the energy to do things, so I should too. Amber expected me to be constantly available. If I didn't text or call during my breaks, I'm sure we've done this with Destiny, or if I wasn't giving her attention constantly, she'd get upset or start a fight. I told her in the beginning that I need to be able to have alone time because that is how I decompress from stress. We've had arguments about that before. She visited too, because she didn't like that. She would always accuse me of not loving her and say how terrible of a girlfriend I was. She wanted me to call out of work anytime she was having a crisis, or just felt like she wanted me to stay home.
Are you getting my text? I feel really sick and I am having an anxiety attack. I really need someone.
I think we all
That was Destiny reading texts that she had saved from when I think her and Amber had broken up and they were still living together.
suspected that, talked about that. She was always in a bad mood because of this. If I did anything that didn't involve her directly, she would start an argument. I was exhausted trying to juggle everything in my life, on top of her constantly being mad at me. We'd get into arguments and she just wouldn't let anything go.
How do you negotiate a relationship like this? Like, why, as Amber, why would you want to be in a relationship that is always so keyed up like this? Like, I understand that relationships, there are arguments and stuff within relationships. Like, I get that part. But, like, why would you want your relationship to always be so keyed up like this?
She would gaslight, deflect, just typical narcissistic behaviour. It got to the point where I started going into the other room just to sleep, because she wouldn't stop arguing with me when I was trying to rest before a shift. She came into the room and stood over the bed. Ugh.
Creepy. That's not weird.
I'm just really surprised that she didn't just like keep you locked and cornered into an argument all night and you got no sleep. Because if that would have happened with me and her, that's what she would have done with me.
That was Beck talking to Destiny when they did the two of them did a interview between the two of them where they just answered some questions from the internet and then they just kind of questioned each other about their time dating Amber, which was actually really interesting because Destiny was very much the golden child when it came to her relationship with Amber versus Beck's relationship with Amber. That is a very interesting contrast of relationships, especially since Beck was the relationship after Destiny. It's, to me, those two relationship, the dynamics of those two relationships is very interesting to me, but well, that's not what we're here to talk about. But I just wanted you guys, those of you listening, to know that that was Beck talking to Destiny during an interview that the two of them did together with each other. There's no Mr. Snowflake involved there.
She told me that if I wasn't going to finish the conversation, which was basically her going on and on about how I didn't love her and all this other crap, then said, fine, if I can't have peace from being able to have this conversation, then you aren't going to either.
That's creepy.
She would then stand next to the bed I was sleeping in and intentionally keep me up all night. I felt like this happened every time she knew I was going to work. Like she was intentionally keeping me up because she didn't like that I wasn't home instead of at work.
That's weird.
Emily again? Yeah, this stuff was happening more and more frequently. And then I say, it sounds like she didn't want you to work and just spend all day at home with her. I'm guessing she used BPD as an excuse for her shitty behaviour. How did I know that? She 100% used your BPD. Her BPD as an excuse. That's what's frustrating me the most.
Imagine having BPD, unregulated.
Yeah, Snowflake, it was your BPD. Wouldn't that be funny? Amber starts blaming Snowflake's BPD. Yeah, well, there's this guy named Snowflake, and he has BPD. And?
Unmedicated.
Okay, this clip is from the first live that Amber did, which was like 2.5 hours. Sorry, I haven't watched it all the way through yet. That Amber had, that is her having a complete and absolute meltdown about this video. So it is helpful that Snowflake went through and clipped out certain things and added it to his video, because it highlights certain things that Emily says and like I said earlier, reinforces certain stories that Emily tells, which actually lends credence to Emily's stories. And I mean, it's up to you who you want to believe, whether you want to believe Amber or you want to believe Emily, or if you want to disbelieve both of them or believe both of them. That's up to you. But it doesn't do... It's not doing what Amber was hoping it would do. But for me, it does reinforce that the event at least occurred.
You know, just betrayal. Like, you go crazy. Like, you genuinely go crazy.
Anytime she'd have one of her tantrums, she wouldn't take any accountability and say it's because she has BPD. And she'd be like, I'm not trying to be mean, I'm just trying to tell you how I feel. When she would literally scream at me about something, like taking 4 minutes longer than I said I would.
Did you really set a timer?
This is from Beck era.
I did a couple times. Yes.
Taking 4 minutes longer than I said I would. When I went outside to smoke. Alright, I told her she can't use that as an excuse if she refuses to do anything to help herself to get better. She made a lot of false promises of getting into therapy. She told me in so many different occasions that she was signed up and she never went. I remember a video of her saying, oh yeah, I found a therapist here in Wisconsin.
So I have actually found a psychiatrist / therapist who I'm going to be speaking to. I'm going to be calling.
I remember this.
I've not called yet. I have discovered them. I have found them. I know about them and they know nothing about me yet.
And this is me.
And they're falling over themselves to work with the Amberlynn Reid. They don't know who I am, but they will. No, they never did.
Yeah, I remember a video where she said she found a therapist in Wisconsin, and I thought, right, she's been awful to Emily, and this is her way of saying, hey, I'm going to get help. Because that's what she did with Beck a lot. I'll work on myself, I'll improve, and it didn't last very long.
That's also, I mean, I'm not diagnosing anybody with anything. However, this is classic abuse behavior where, like, the abuser will abuse the victim, apologize, and then do something like, oh, I'll get better, and then claim or even make the first initial steps of going to get therapy, going to get help, you know, stop abusing whatever substance it is that causes the bad behavior, like drinking or something like that. But there's no follow through. Like, it's just window dressing to lure the victim into a sense of compliancy.
So I was going to see a BPD therapist when I was in Wisconsin, but they were located in Wisconsin.
Which everybody thought was really weird.
And I was wasn't thinking at the time.
Your words, not mine.
And I do not live in Wisconsin.
No shit.
I live in Oklahoma. So now I have to re-find someone.
Just me again? So what would you do all day when you were at work? I'm going to take a guess and say nothing. Lay in bed all day watching reaction channels. How could I have gotten that right? Yep, that was one of her manipulative tactics and staying longer when it was getting to the point where I was asking her to leave. She thought she would get a therapist here. I'd let her stay so she could do the therapy.
Yeah, so Emily just straight calls out the therapy tactic as being a manipulation tactic. And it often is a manipulation tactic. Like, you know, I'm trying to couch things, but Emily saw through it. It's interesting that Emily, well, you know, hindsight's 2020. So Emily can see through things now, but maybe in the moment Emily wanted to believe it. I don't know. Or maybe was gaslit into believing it.
She did a whole lot of nothing, to be honest. She'd sit around and watch YouTube videos, including reaction channels, all day.
Reaction channels.
All 4 of those videos were from Emily's house.
Shocking.
The kitchen one might not have been, but I'm pretty sure the kitchen one was from Emily's house.
Shocking. I did her laundry. Again, I think Casey did all the laundry.
Because me and my mom would do her laundry.
I remember back then I would do our laundry for us. I didn't really like people touching my laundry. I still really don't, but...
That's from the Casey era. No, this is from Destiny era.
I let Destiny do it because...
That's Crystal. This is a video of Crystal doing the laundry.
I trust her. Crystal always does the laundry.
I cleaned up after her and took care of...
Destiny did the laundry. Beck did the laundry. The very first clip was Casey telling us that they and their mother did the laundry. Amber never does laundry, by the way. I'm sure Amber does her laundry now, unless her mom comes over and does it for her.
of the pets. She won't ever let Twinkie or the dogs out during the day when she was home, so I'll come home from work, I have to clean up Twinkie's pee off my brand new floor that I put in. I was really proud of that floor because I recently just put it in and I did it myself, which was a lot of hard physical work. Well, Amber knows about that.
She's claiming property damages because her dog pees on her carpet.
This is a clip from the live that Amber did, and this is Amber trying to counter the claim that Emily has made about Twinkie peeing on Emily's floors.
And then Twinkie also was peeing on her carpet. They both were peeing on the carpet. Like while we were sleeping, they both. So what I did was I bought this really expensive, I bought 2 of them, this really cool like gate type thing that she actually still has up to block the yeah, there was pee pads down as well, just for like at night when we were both sleeping and they both had a mind of their own, you know. Use pee pads, actually recently started using pee pads for when I'm sleeping.
This is a clip from another one of Amber's lives, but I don't know which one. I can't recall.
I have an elderly dog. It just happens. Dogs are dogs. Oh,
I've had a lot of dogs. Not recently, but I've had a lot of dogs growing up, and I've had a lot of elderly dogs. And personally, I have never had to have pee pads down for a dog that wasn't a puppy. Like, I've had to have puppy pads down because puppies are puppies and they're still learning, right? And they're not doing it out of anything other than they are puppies. But like, I don't know. I don't buy it. You know? I've had elderly cats. And one of my old men, he did have elderly cat bladder problems. And I still didn't have to put pee pads down. I just had to like adjust things for him so he could more easily get to a cat box, you know? I just had to work with him. So I think this is the part where Kicking Geese got to, and she actually rage quit this because Amber starts saying things like animals make mistakes, and Kicking Geese made a really good point of animals don't make mistakes because animals can't, right? They don't think that way, right? They can't make mistakes because there's no mistake for them to make. They are acting on animal instincts, right? They do things for a reason because that's what makes sense to them. They're not like us. They don't have rules, right? If there's no rules, they can't make mistakes. If animals are making mistakes, there's probably something wrong with the animal that needs to be addressed, or we are having unrealistic expectations on our animals, or we're fucking up, right? If you lock an animal up all day long in a house and you don't provide them with any way to relieve themselves, they're going to relieve themselves somewhere, okay? It's gonna happen, you know? It's just a law of nature. What goes in must come out. So her trying to vilify and blame the animals for their behavior without trying to take any kind of responsibility for their behavior, right? The animals are behaving the way that they are because Amber is not providing them with what they need to behave the way she wants them to. She's not allowing them to go outside when they need to relieve themselves. She's not keeping the cat box clean. Cats are finicky, man. Some cats are very picky. Mine, thankfully, are not. But the point is, some cats are, right? And you just have to learn to work with them on that because you can't shame a cat. you just can't. They don't care. That kind of a thing. Like, cats don't make mistakes because they don't care. But if you're not willing to work with an animal to provide it with what it needs to live in harmony with you, I mean, it's a give and take relationship. I mean, as much as we like to joke around and shit like that, but if you're not willing to like work with an animal, you probably don't need an animal. You know, they're not little puppets that you're going to mind control. They have minds of their own, right? And they don't think like we do. They're not humans, okay? As intelligent as they are and as in tune with us as they are. They're still not humans. You know, you see me point my finger at my cat, and you see me scold my cat, and he gets that I'm mad. He doesn't know why I'm mad. He just knows that I'm mad. You know, he's not sorry that I'm mad. He's just sorry that he's getting yelled at in that moment, right? Like that's the logic loop there. He's like, I know you'll shut up in a minute. Like that's what's going on there. He's not sorry that he did a thing. Anyway.
Like, I tried to fix it, like, genuinely, and then I ended up buying a whole steam cleaner for her. Like, I tried to fucking fix it, bro.
Well, I mean, if you did just let the animals out when they need to go to the fucking bathroom, you wouldn't have to be fixing it.
But it's crazy because she has this cat named Princess, which she keeps trying to throw out, by the way, on
Does she, though?
the streets, and I keep telling her not to. She really wants to fuck around. We can fuck around and find out.
Can we? This is an interesting little tirade that she decides to have where she tries to reverse the blame of throwing the cat out around onto Emily. That cat was chill enough. That's not a cat that's worried about being thrown out.
So I'm fucking done. Anyways,
Are ya?
she has a cat that pees all over the fucking downstairs, on the carpet, on the chair, on the couch, on the clothes, on the this, on the that.
Do they? Do they, though?
So stop trying to fucking blame me and my dog for everything in your life, because I will literally come for you.
Will you, though? But the problem is, Amber, no one believes you.
Oh,
It literally ruined the flooring because the pee would sit there until I got home from work to clean it. If you remember one of her vlogs, she talked about her responsibilities of letting the pets out.
So on days that Tommy works, especially, like, I have the same, like, morning routine. I'll wake up.
Is this why you and Rosie are friends? Because you both have the same, like, I'm gonna let my girls just kind of hang out and do absolutely jack all with my hair and barely be dressed for the camera?
Take the dogs out, refill.
This is a feeder thing, isn't it? Is this a feeder thing? This particular appearance on camera with the boobages dangling out and like the no clothes on and
Cat food, dog food, water. It's just like every day, just my go-to.
Is it though? Because that's totally your lie face.
That lasted about 2 days. This started a lot of fights too.
It's just back at home in Oklahoma, like, my routine is just a little bit different. So having to form another routine, you know, here in Wisconsin is a little hard.
What do I say? Disgusting. Only time I remember her talking about her responsibility with the pets was when she did the video explaining how Rarity got out.
So usually I take the dogs out and this curtain is usually open.
I'm sure she talked about that stuff before, but I just can't remember. Actually, before I ask you about Rarity, how bad did the tantrums get? What was the worst? If you're okay talking about it, if not, I'll shut my face. The tantrums slowly escalated each time. It started with just her shouting at me, to escalating to her slamming doors and punching walls. Anytime I tried to leave the room, she would block doorways. She was also really jealous. Anytime I talked about Colleen, I wasn't allowed to share memories or say anything about it really anymore, or she would end up getting really upset and pissed off at me.
For those of you who don't know, which I don't know who those of you would be, but Colleen is Emily's deceased fiance. Like, some people will refer to Colleen as Emily's ex. That is not accurate. Colleen and Emily were together until Colleen passed away. So there was no breakup. Colleen passed away. If Colleen had not passed away, she and Emily would still be together. So I just think that's a very important difference. Emily and Amber are exes. Colleen and Emily are not. So that's important here, which is another reason why Emily keeps bringing up Colleen as much as she does, because, I mean, they didn't live together. I think Colleen lived, I want to say Texas, but I know that Colleen lived somewhere out west, and Emily obviously lived in Wisconsin. So they didn't live together, but they were engaged, and they had been together for a while. So this was a longish term relationship, even though it was a long distance relationship. Anyway.
For the rest of the day.
I know how much he loved Colleen and still does. Like, I fully get that. During arguments, she would literally tell me,
why is there a mirror there? What is going on in this picture? I have not watched this live.
"You're never going to be Colleen."
Is this the Get Ready With Me live? I haven't watched it yet. Give me a second. Alright, AC's on. I got my watermelon kombucha. This is good shit. Let's get the rest of this done. Hopefully I can get through this. My chair slipped. I don't care. Let's go.
Like, just saying how much better Colleen was. Like, I had to literally compare myself, and I was in competition with Colleen every single day of my life. Every single day of my life. Every single day that I was with her. But
Colleen's dead. You can't compete with a dead woman.
continuously use Colleen as like a weapon, it became awkward for me.
It was really hard, but
I just had that scene from the last Deadpool movie with the Wolverine skeleton. Sorry.
the worst of the tantrums was actually the night before Rarity went missing. She saw me scrolling through my phone and there was women on my Instagram feed. She flipped out and said I was micro-cheating.
I got really fucking upset. Obviously, anyone, even mentally well people would have been pissed, would have been so fucking hurt. Probably marriages would have been divorced. Like,
No. I guess I'm different. I don't care. I assume my guy's gonna be looking at women on the internet because it's the internet. It exists for two reasons: cats and porn. I guess video games. Am I weird? It doesn't bother me.
that type of deal, okay? So we get in a big fight, duh.
The argument escalated really fast. That was the first time she got physical with me. She threw things at me.
And she ends up throwing the can at my car. Made me mad.
You saying if I could hit someone, I would? Okay. I can throw this at someone's head.
Did Amber throw a glass at your mom? Yes.
That's Casey.
She did.
Like, the fuck? I could take this and throw it? I'm just not a physically abusive person.
Your eyes a little shifty for that statement.
I told her I was going to leave the room. She then grabbed my arm and dug her nails into my arm to the point of drawing blood.
All I remember is she got mad
This is Casey again.
and she grabbed my arm. Dug her nails into my arm.
I tried pushing past her to get through the doorway and she pushed back into me and actually falling on top of me.
I remember
This particular story is why I was going on so early about Amber's accounting of the incidences verify that the events occurred, right? Obviously, Amber has a different take than Emily does, but they both have an account of the event, which means more than likely the event occurred, right?
tripped over her rug. I landed into her. She fell on the ground. And I'm like, as that's happening, I'm trying to get her. Like, she's falling. I go to grab her off the ground. It didn't work out very well. She still landed on the floor. And then she started like hysterically, how come you put
You were gonna save somebody from falling over? In what fucking world, Amber?
pushed me? I'm like, what is actually happening? So she like, I don't know. It was this whole fucking thing. And I was like, this cannot be real right now.
I said, Jesus. She says, at that point, I was livid. I told her to go back to Oklahoma, and then I was absolutely done. And this is the night before Rarity, right? Whew, it just pissed her off more. She then grabbed a picture of me and Colleen and held it up and threatened to break it. She knew that it was something that would hurt me more than anything she could do physically to me. Like the lowest she could go, she let her apologise and then tried begging for me back, saying that it was her BPD. There it is, At first, she denied that she did any of those things, which that sucked too.
No, I never destroyed her ex's photo. This Jenny.
Well, she said you threatened to do it. She didn't say you actually did it, so...
Genuinely cannot. Like, I have never been so gaslit.
And I'm like, am I just imagining the gouges out of my arm? She apologised profusely when she knew that she couldn't gaslight me into believing it didn't happen. At that point, I went to my 12-hour shift after that, Jesus Christ. Oh my god, then you went back to work, I said. Right, here we go. After work, I didn't want to go back home. I was exhausted, drained, and didn't want to deal with her crap all over again. She had been blowing my phone up all day trying to apologise and see if I would change my mind about having her go back home. Okay. After work, I went for a walk to decompress. She was not happy about that and was blowing my phone up asking me to come home. It was about 2 hours after my shift that I got a text from her saying that she couldn't find Rarity. She said she hadn't seen her all day but was just telling me this now. At that point, I came home right away. I figured she was just somewhere in the house and she was just saying that to try to get me to come home. But after I searched the entire house while Amber watched, When Amber watched die, she wasn't anywhere to be found. At that point, I moved the search outside. I was exhausted, but searched all hours of the night looking for her. I really thought I would find her that night, but it was no luck. I know there's text messages coming up in a second, I'm waiting for that. At that point, I made posters and hung them up all around town to local businesses. I think Amber even said Emily's basically doing everything.
Tommy has made like online posters and put it on different websites and like went outside and we've been like yelling her name.
Posted on social media and lost cat pages. Amberlynn's one job was to call the shelter to make a report. But when I called the shelter after they found a cat that was deceased, that kind of matched Rarity's description, it ended up not being her. The shelter told me no formal report was ever filed.
I think it's interesting the few times Amber's exes corroborate Amber's stories. I always find that interesting because it shows that Amber's exes are slightly more trustworthy in the long run than Amber is. I don't honestly care what your overall opinion is about Amber's. And damn it. Too many A names. Amber's various exes over the years. But when they independently verify Amber's stories, it always kind of gives them a little tick for me. This here with the when I went to go verify a deceased cat that ended up not being Rarity. Amber has always insisted that this cat that has, we all know about it, that got called into one of the shelters that had a description that was close to Rarity's. Amber has always insisted that that cat was not Rarity. But we all know that Amber herself never went to verify that, whether that or not. And that has always been a major criticism, well, among other things, that Amber has had from the girl world about her handling of Rarity and Rarity's disappearance. Because we know she doesn't give two flying fucks. But anyway, for Emily to verify, Emily didn't need to verify that. Emily didn't need to back up Amber's story. This isn't Emily trying to defend Amber, oh, she was terrible except in this one aspect. Like, there's no reason for that other than Emily isn't trying to maybe she is over exaggerating, maybe she is. In my opinion, though, the fact that she right here, right now, because she knows the audience is very critical of Amber about this particular thing. And here she says it ended up not being Rarity, right? So she is verifying that this deceased cat, that more than half of Hater Nation, that's a terrible word for us, but anyway, half of the reaction community believes is indeed Rarity, or was indeed Rarity. She is verifying that it is not. She doesn't have to do that. She doesn't even have to mention it, honestly. But she does. She gets nothing out of this. There's no benefit for her to do that, right? It doesn't take any pressure off of her. It doesn't put any pressure on her one way or the other. But she does. That to me has always been, that particular behavior has always been to me kind of like a little green check. And it's just like makes you just a little bit more honest than you otherwise were up to this point, right? Because there's no need for you to defend Amber in this aspect, but yet you are. And it's not like she's like white knighting for Amber right now. It's just, I went to go verify if this cat was Rarity. It wasn't. These are factual statements as far as Emily is concerned, right? These are the facts as far as Emily is giving them to us, right? And these facts correlate with what Amber has told us, right? Good for Amber, because nobody fucking believes Amber one way or the other. So anyway.
The only info they had was the report from the Lost Pet database that I submitted. So at that point, I filed the formal report with the shelter with her description. But they could call if they had anybody turn her in. I'm sure when we saw the report, everybody was like, oh, Amber's got the age wrong of Rarity, and I'm sure there was something else wrong. I'll have to check. But I guess that would check out if Emily did it. maybe she would get the details wrong because...
She didn't
So anyway,
know.
I think that fits. But I spent hours upon hours driving around looking for her, walking through fields and in between houses around my house through the snow. I think that's what everyone thought, yeah. Amberlynn would go in the drives with me, but obviously didn't do the walking around part. Again, I think everybody, yeah, said that. I would get so pissed when we were driving because she would have her head buried in her phone playing a stupid Farmville type game instead of looking out the damn window to find her cat.
I have this app on my phone. It's a game. It's called like Harbor Gossip or Gossip Harbor. I don't even know, but I'm like obsessed with it. I've been obsessed with this game, Dice Dreams.
I loved Rarity, and she was a sweet cat that would always sleep on my chest. I did everything I could to try to find her. I can't say 100% that she purposely let her out, but given the circumstances, the situation doesn't look good. No, it does not. If it was a ploy to get her to be able to stay in Wisconsin longer, then I guess it definitely worked.
It was a lengthy stay that became lengthier because we loved being around each other, which then became lengthier once Rarity went missing. I was not going to leave her here.
And see, the text messages coming up 2 seconds. Me again, I don't know if you're like Amber and keep old messages, but do you have any messages from Amber about Rarity going missing? It's the one after this one. Yeah, I do. I have the message of her initial reporting when she's missing, which is timestamped. It shows that her story that she posted on her vlogs about being missing at 5 a.m. was not correct.
Which completely blows my theory out of the water. So thanks, Emily.
When it happened, it was 5 a.m.
These are the texts between Amber and Emily. Amber says, "So am I leaving?" Wait, I read that wrong. I also...
Alright, so he is reading a series of texts between Amber and Emily. And they are dated November 17th, 2024 at 10:06 p.m.
also have moments where I snap at you. I haven't been able to find Rarity all day. What time is this at? 10:06. I need help finding her, please. I've been calling her name and looking everywhere all day. Emily says, I'm afraid to come home, to be honest. Amber says, I didn't go to the back porch. Amber says, I didn't go to the back porch.
You know, the place where supposedly Rarity escaped from.
Amber made a whole demonstration video at the back porch explaining what had happened, but here she's telling Emily, I didn't go to the back porch. Don't be afraid, I'm not going to cause you any stress. You can come home and go into the bedroom. I'll stay in the living room till you wake up for work.
You know, it's probably a good thing that Kicking Geese, quit watching the video when she did. Because this part really kind of kills me. This part really kind of gives me the ick, and it's hard for me to get through. So, if I'm even more quiet than I have been up to this point, I'm sorry, but this part really, really, really fucking gives me the ick. But we'll get through it. We can do this. I promise you, we can do this. We're good.
10:26 p.m. If you didn't hurt me on purpose, why would you regret it? Get real. I don't want you to touch me. Amber says, I regret anything I've done that has hurt you. I understand. Oh my god, Princess is out.
So when Amber saying I can't find Rarity wasn't enough to get Emily to be like, oh my god, I'm coming home right now, Amber resorts to, oh, I can't find your cat, Princess, now. What were you gonna do to the other cat, Amber? You already chucked your cat out. Actually, did you chuck your cat out? What happened to Rarity? Where's the fucking cat? What did you do? I'm sorry. This is like true crime level bullshit for me now. Like, where did the cat go for real, Amber? For fucking real, where is this cat? Did the aliens come get it? 'Cause I'm not entirely sure you let the cat out. And if she hadn't come home, what were you gonna do to Princess?
Emily's cat. Princess is out. She just went up the stairs into the bedroom. I was so confused for a minute. Emily, can I ask you something? What? Can I have another chance? No. So you want me to pack my bags and leave? Yes. Check Snap, please. I've been abused before, and I was done to have stayed with her because look what it led to. And Amber says, I would never do that. I sent a whole video. It's taking forever to send. Anyway, there's the text messages. I'll make another video talking more about it, but I'll keep reading. But yeah, very different to Amber's demonstration video.
If he does make a video talking about the cats, I may end up watching it. But I'm telling you guys right now, I don't know if I can react to it. I don't like that kind of stuff. Like, it bothers me. I'm having a hard enough time dealing with the Alexander Rodriguez shit right now. I have things I don't like talking about because they don't sit well with me. Like, they make me physically feel gross. This is gonna be one of them. And he probably will make a video about it because he's made videos about the topic in the past. So if he makes a video about the cats, I'm very sorry up front right now, but I probably will not react to it. Maybe the best you'll get is alive. I can't do this kind of material. Like, just this section of this video right now, and I'm already like, okay, so...
Funny, that.
We get in a really fucking bad argument. She leaves through the glass door, leaves the door open. I did not notice because I did not go near the door. I did not go near the door. I was sitting at the kitchen table waiting for her to...
Your fake crying right now makes me physically violent. Where is Punchy? I need a Punchy! Do I even have a pillow I could turn into Punchy?
And that's when I noticed the cold breeze.
How much does Punchy
Lily
cost?
left the fucking door open.
Can I buy Punchy in a pillow already? I know I can get the pillowcase. I'm distracting myself. We can do this. Let's go.
And she booked it so fast she didn't even close the door. It was just a lot.
Right. It's Emily's fault.
My brain, I was thinking, there's no way Birdie got out. We're good. You know, it's like one of them things. But it was the next day.
Mm-hmm.
When I was like, something really just does not seem right. I haven't seen Birdie all day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, oh my god, I've been taking the blame this whole fucking time.
Mm-hmm.
I've been taking the blame this whole fucking time.
Right, me next. Well, that doesn't look good. She made a couple videos crying about Rarity. Were you off screen watching this, and what did you think? Because her acting is shite. I don't remember saying that. I mean, it's true. Her acting is shite. I've always thought that. I didn't buy she was genuinely sad. Nobody did that. That's not just me. I was home for a few of them.
I appreciate that he actually typed out shite. I didn't realize y'all spell shit with an E. I thought you just pronounced it funny. This amuses me greatly. Y'all know there's no E in shit, right? I'm sorry. Look, I'm taking it where I can get it, okay?
That she filmed, it was always after a fight between her and I. I think she wanted to take advantage of the tears and the crying and put it on camera.
No.
She just wanted to venture out. I know.
But her crying is so fake anyway. No one believes that she's crying. Even I didn't believe it. And I'm usually the first one to give you the benefit of the doubt. No, I'm really not. No, that's not true. No one believed you were crying.
Oh, she just wanted to see. No.
You explored too hard. It was her fault. She made a mistake.
Like, I don't know where the fuck she is, and it's been just like, literally. Sorry.
I even asked her, why would you film right now if you're this upset? Which she would get pissed, so I never mentioned anything about the vlogs. Yeah. She was obviously the expert and always knew what the right thing was to post. And I say, oh yeah, she's smashing YouTube. Right, slutty bastard. Emily says, a person can only watch so many videos about Legos, Choosy, and the occasional bingo session before boredom sets in. She really doesn't do a whole lot of anything. And then I say, I always thought her Rarity videos seemed fake. Well, so did everyone, not just me, yeah. Usually when she knows she's in the wrong, but doesn't want to admit it, she's over the top and extra dramatic about things, yes. And she was definitely over the top. And I say, what was she like in the following weeks, or however long? What she said about Rarity? Did she talk about Rarity? Oh, may as well. Also, not to bombard you, but I'll ask while it's just popped in my head and I'm still awake. I just saw a clip earlier today of you and her at the Billie Eilish concert, whatever she's called. Still don't know. You looked miserable. We did talk about her because I was actively searching for her. She would say how much she missed her every once in a while, but she definitely handled it better than I would have ever if I lost my pet.
Oh, that makes me miss Rarity. I miss her so much.
So fake. Like, why do you even bother? You're so fucking fake. Why do you bother?
Sorry. Moment of silence.
She would cry sometimes, but she didn't cry like she did on camera about her. Oh, okay, right. I definitely feel like this was a huge distraction from the big fight that happened. Oh, yeah. It seemed to blow over faster than it should have. I wanted to keep it civil while she was here, while we were looking for the cat. That's when she tried signing up for therapy in Wisconsin to show that she was going to get help for how she acts.
I need to do therapy for BPD.
Yes. Assuming you actually have it. But either way, you need to do therapy. End of discussion.
So, I found a dude. Why did I say it like that?
We would argue on and off, though, but she was actively trying to minimize her tantrums. I bought those tickets for her well before this happened. They were really expensive, and because they were in a premium seat, I couldn't resell them. I knew how much it meant to her to see Billy.
Why can't you resell them if they're in a premium seat? They're in a premium seat. People would have fallen over themselves for them. Am I wrong?
So I took her. I tend to forgive too easily. Me again. So how did you get her to leave eventually? Because she told us she left because she was a grown-up and had an apartment or some nonsense. There was something stupid like that, wasn't it?
What was the real reason you went back to Oklahoma and didn't stay in Wisconsin? Because I have a whole ass apartment. I have a whole life here. I love my apartment. I love living alone in a responsible way. I belong here right now. So that is why we are currently in a long distance relationship. But I do see us moving in together in the future.
Didn't make sense anyway. Also, again, while it's in my head and I'm awake, I bet driving her home wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. I think that's when Mop Legs was born, wasn't it? The drive home. Bottom of her feet just mopping up the piss out of truck stop bathroom. Oh, she's so gross, man. Oh. She couldn't keep up her normal behaviour for too long before her true self came out again, and we started arguing all the time. I finally got to the point where I couldn't take it anymore and told her she's going back home. I drove her back home to Oklahoma myself instead of waiting for her mom to come do it. I don't know why.
I don't blame you. I don't blame her mom for not wanting to come do it.
Why she was insistent on making it seem like it was her decision. All right, why Amber was acting to us like, oh, it's my decision, right?
Because Amber doesn't want us to know that every single fucking one of her girlfriends has broken up with her. Because every single one of her girlfriends has fucking broken up with her. Because she's insufferable. But she's an adult.
I don't want to talk about this, but I was in Wisconsin and I chose to come home
I chose to came back?
myself because I love living by myself. Like, genuinely.
Tommy didn't want me to leave. Tommy said I am welcome there forever.
Oh, it was 19 hours. I drove 19 hours straight through and flew
Sure about that?
home the next day. It took that long because of all the stops she had to take. Oh, God, yeah. That was the longest drive of my life, figuratively and literally. Within the first hour of the drive, she was screaming at me so much that Twinkie freaked out and jumped under my feet on the driver's side floor. I was driving on the...
And that, folks, is why you put your animals on a leash and or a harness in the back seat, or preferably in a cage, if they're small enough. It's hard to cage big dogs, because sometimes you just can't get a big enough cage, but I honestly think you can strap a bigger dog in like you do a child. Maybe not into a child seat. I don't have dogs that big, but my best friend does. I'll ask her how they handle the dogs.
on the highway, and I had to pull over because she won't come out. I don't even remember what she was mad at me about. I think it was a comment over me getting to choose the music on the radio since I was driving that long, and she wanted to choose to listen to.
Have you enjoyed the ride so far?
I do. I like it. Even the music and everything.
Even
Mama Lynn, blink twice if you need help.
the music.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool.
We had a Billie
like it? Are you
Eilish
happy?
streak. Yes.
That's what
And I
matters.
appreciate you guys taking me.
That's what matters.
No.
That's what matters. That's what matters. That you're happy. That's all that matters, is that you're happy. Because then you're not screaming and crying and shrieking at me while I'm trying to drive.
Yeah, this is her again. After she was back home, she tried ringing me back in, saying she was going to therapy and actively working on it, and maybe the distance would be good to help us eventually be able to be together again without the fighting. We had a lot of on-again, off-again stuff. I think we all knew that as well, yeah? Every time I tried to cut things off after things were getting bad again, she'd always have some sort of health scare to bait me back in. Well, that doesn't sound like Amber at all, does it?
So they're doing everything they can. She was like, oh, it just means like you could possibly have a blood clot. That's why we checked your lungs. What? I'm itching so hard. I am causing welts.
Well, and then I say that she's done that on YouTube for years, gets found out or has some big drama, and then returns with, oh, hey guys, I have a new health issue.
Yep.
And also Poor Twinkie Man. Anytime I've seen that dog on camera, they look terrified. I know why now. Again, I'm probably remembering wrong, but I'm sure Amber said she was on FaceTime with you when she was in a store with her mum when you ended it. Probably remembering it wrong, sorry.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Probably am. How did you end it, and how did she take it? Both her pets would get scared during a tantrum. Wasabi would always run and hide in his little enclosed litter box when
That's bad.
she would yell. I felt so bad for him. I feel bad for Twinkie too, being stuck inside 24/7. I had to say I have no idea about when or what time she's referring to about being in the grocery store. I might be remembering it wrong, probably am. I had to end it from...
Maybe you're confusing Valentine. Because I think there was a time the Valentine's wife called? Or that was the fireworks. I don't remember. Those two were weird.
For a multitude of reasons. She obviously didn't take it well. There was a lot of threats made of trying to ruin my life if I said anything publicly of her online.
So you know what? I'm gonna fucking Snowflake. But if you share a video, which I have never shared screenshots of, if you share a video of me during a BPD meltdown where I'm half naked due to your betrayal,
Just give us all the details, Amber.
that's when suing will happen.
Man, just take 5 seconds and let the sentence fully form in your head, then say it. You probably do know the correct words. Just take a minute, think it out, then say it. A, you'll calm down some. And B, you won't constantly be using weird words or non-existent words.
Absolutely.
It's a soft love. It's a soft love, it really is. She still tries to reach out to me. Sometimes she's civil, and sometimes she's absolutely unhinged. You don't say. Emily again. She did do a lot of threatening anytime she felt like she didn't have control of the situation. I'm still worried she's going to totally lose it once she finds out I talked to you.
Did you know this was gonna happen?
I should be fucking showering right now. I should be fucking washing my hair. I should be just fine and dandy. I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack right here.
She went live twice, just before bed and when she woke up. When I watched that Beck and Destiny collab, I was shocked at the similarities. Yeah, it's the same MO, isn't it? Unless they're not giving all the details. I feel like she's gotten worse since then, not better. Maybe she was just rough on me because I didn't put up with her crap, or fall for her manipulation. I do...
That's honestly... Anyway, that's a conversation for another time.
do feel drained too. Oh, have I missed a message? Sorry. Anyway, I think I said I felt drained just listening to it, so it must be worse for her. Do feel drained too. It's not a time I like to think about or remember. It's all a lot. I appreciate you respectfully listening to what I have to say, so I can share my side of the story and not let her control the narrative. Is that it? That's it. I'm just glad they were in order. Like I said, the first time, well, the only time I've went through them is when I was talking to Emily, and then I quickly put them up, and then I've done this. Right, that is it. Well, it's it for now, because I know she's gone live twice and blamed Emily for Rarity getting out. And today, I only caught a couple of clips, but she seemed very smug. So, the end of this video was meant to be me saying something along the lines of, Amber, take accountability, like you didn't do with Beck. Take accountability, say sorry, and genuinely try and improve. And this won't go away, but it'll be the end of it for me making videos, and for Emily. Emily just wanted to get this off her chest, and this would have been it. This would have been my only video, and Emily would have been done. However, because Amber is super smart and acted very smug in today's live stream and blamed Emily, Emily is rather pissed. And now it's not the end of it, which it was going to be.
Now it's on. That's okay. It just means more content. I may or may not be talking to someone who's a mutual friend of the channel, mutual being mutual friend of Girl World and the channel, who is interested. Was like, contacted me on Instagram, was like, WTF? I was like, I don't know either, man. I was gone for the weekend. And I said, I'll try to find you something resembling Cliff Notes, but I'm still learning what's happening myself. So there might be a really interesting video coming out of this also, from someone who occasionally dips their toe into Girl World and has some very interesting insights. I'm looking forward to it. Should they choose to accept that mission, I would also completely understand if they choose not to accept that mission. But if they do, I'm quite interested. But knowing that this is just the beginning... Amber, when are you gonna learn, girl? Just stop. Just stop. Take a minute. 2 steps back. Deep breaths. Deep breaths. Just stop dating, man. Just stop. You're not made for dating, okay? Some people just aren't made to date. All right? You got a lot of issues you got to get under control. Maybe get some houseplants. You know, start with the houseplants. If you can keep the houseplant alive, then you move on to goldfish. You keep the goldfish alive, maybe consider something slightly less goldfishy. No cats, no dogs, no nothing that relies on you completely. Like goldfish, we draw a line at goldfish, all right? We don't move on to like animals until like way down the line, okay? And once you get there and you keep that alive for a few years, then maybe we'll talk about dating. All right? You're not ready for it. You're just not.
So we're not done. I don't think we're done anyway. From the little bit of conversation I had with Emily today, I don't think we are done.
All right, so that tells me, it kind of answers the question I had at the very beginning about was Emily or is Emily aware that this was going to turn into a video? And again, I'm just asking, A, curiously, and B, I think it would be a good CYA thing to have at the beginning of the video or just maybe in the beginning of the next video. Just be like, hey, yes, Emily is aware that this was going to become a video. And so, I mean, if she's continuing to discuss with Snowflake and there is continuing to be a back and forth, then kind of speaks for itself. But as I said, I would just like to see the CYA of, yes, Emily knows this is being recorded, and yes, Emily knows this is going to be turned into a video, yada, yada, yada. So, but I'm a very paranoid person, so that's just me. But I'm still also curious who reached out to who first. And maybe it is something like Snowflake just a long time ago just sent an invite out to Emily and was just like, hey, you ever, because a lot of people did, they just kind of put it at like, you know, a floating invite out there to Emily. If you ever want to talk to somebody, my channel is open. And maybe Emily was just like, okay, Snowflake, I'm going to go with Snowflake. And that's how this got going. I'm honestly just curious about the origins of this because I'm genuinely curious about that. I don't think that's a CYA thing at all. I'm just curious. But I just think of like a quick, you don't have to listen to me whatsoever. But I just think a little quick disclosure at the beginning of it being like, Emily's aware that this was going to become a video would be good. Only because Emily, like I said before, Emily gets duped or appears to have gotten duped so many times in the past by people approaching her in her DMs and being like, hey, oh, I'm so sympathetic towards you, up to and including Rosie, Quirky Love Rose, who's totally not part of Girl World, who was totally like trying to crawl into Tommy's DMs after Tommy broke up with Amber. Oh, you're friends now, huh? With Amber? You and Amber? Your BFFs now? Okay, cool. Anyway, but anyway, Emily kind of has a record of being kind of duped by people in their DMs. So I don't know. It's just for me, it would just kind of be a CYA kind of a thing. But that's me. No one has to listen to me.
And there is more to come out.
Good.
Yeah. So yeah, just Amber shot herself in the foot by just having to come online and lie and act really smug.
Not Amber.
A lot of stuff there, yeah.
Not our
you
Amber.
Don't have to believe Emily. Loads of people won't. I'm sure some people will. But the messages, I'll just talk about it in a second. Yeah, there it is. So am I leaving? So she knows this is it now. Emily's not taking her nonsense.
He's just got the original messages of Amber talking about the cat missing. He had them up earlier.
It's game over. I haven't been able to find Rarity all day. This is at 10:06.
Game over.
I need help finding her, please. I've been calling her name and looking everywhere all day. Looking everywhere.
I don't really remember the original timeline anymore. But 10:06 p.m. is not when we were told the cat went missing, and I don't remember the exact, because Amber did give us a day that Rarity went missing, and I off the top of my head do not recall what it is, but I don't remember if it was the 17th or not. I feel like that was one of the dates. So.
But then also says I didn't go to the back porch. Okay. I didn't want to pester Emily too much because, like I said to her, it's draining listening to. I'm guessing people are drained listening to it now. So I didn't want to just ask her a million questions. But, like I said, after the smugness of today, I've said, look, if you want to find more proof about anything, go for it. Go for it. Go through your do an Amber. Go through your phone.
Do an Amber.
Anything you like.
Only do it right.
But yeah, anyway, I'm rambling. Emily is pissed.
Good.
What a dumb move. Just come on camera and say sorry. And then just... I mean, we did it with Beck, didn't we? And I stupidly thought... I was the only one. I stupidly thought, oh, I'm going to get the arc I envisioned when I first started watching Amber. She's going to come good in the end. She's going to turn it around.
He's adorable. Surely you didn't actually believe that. I mean, surely you're just like... No, you didn't. You didn't actually believe this. Like, you... This is a ploy, right? I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm just like... People don't actually believe her when she says this shit. Like, I believe when Kicking Geese says it because, like, Kicking Geese still has, like, some, like, trust in humanity still, some belief in humanity. Am I really that jaded? But, like, I just kind of figured Snowflake was like, on that level with me a little bit. Like, am I wrong? I mean, if you do, that's cool. Like, honestly, if you do still have enough faith in humanity that you believe Amber when she says shit like that, I honestly, like, kind of envy you a little bit. I really do. I really do. 'Cause I don't. I really don't. So I'm just surprised. I'm honest. I'm not in a bad way. I'm not surprised in a bad way. I'm just surprised. I'm not like, oh my god, you got duped. I'm just like, oh wow, I would not have expected that. I guess you can take that how you want to take that. I don't mean that as an insult. I can see how that might come off a little insulty though, so I'm sorry, I didn't mean it that way.
Because she said she was going to take accountability. And I believed her? And she obviously didn't and blamed Beck for it.
I guess that just shows how good of a manipulator she is though also. I mean, I warn you guys that she's good.
Everything. Just did what...
I'm not like, I told you so. I'm just like, I like pointing out to people because some people are like, oh my god, she's a terrible manipulator. And I'm like, I tell you guys, she's actually really good at it.
The clips I've seen of the live stream today, she did that with Beck. Just turned it around and said, oh, Beck did this. It was Beck who did all this. And yeah, like what I've seen today, oh, it was Emily. Emily did this.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's your messages.
Hey.
Yeah, I don't think it's the end of it now. What a dumb move. Anyway, I'm rambling. Thanks very much, everybody. Amber, you're so... Why? Why act smug?
Because she can't help it.
Wrong move. Right, cheers, everybody.
Alright, there you have it. I have reacted to this. I believe I have said what I'm going to say when I said it. That's it. That's all I've got for you guys. If this is not the end of it, I will try to keep abreast of the situation. I'll try to react as things go down. And that's what I've got for you guys. So, excuse me. I mean, I know I'm like one of the last people to react to this. I hope I've contributed something of value to the conversation because I know most people are... I haven't seen everybody's reaction to it, but I mean, there's only so much you can say at this point. So I hope I've contributed something fresh. If not, I hope you have enjoyed my hour-and-a-half long rambling. Mazel tov! And maybe I'm wrong about this. I don't know. Let me know if I'm wrong about this being edited after the fact. I know I asked in the Discord, but then I started recording before I got an answer, so I don't know. You guys tell me down in the comments section. And that's all I've got for you guys right now. So thank you to everybody who's supporting the channel. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to my members. I'm sorry this isn't going to go out to you guys first. I need to get it out. And again, blame Amber or Snowflake. I don't know. Pick one. Thank you to everybody who's going to hit the thumbs up button. And yeah, I guess if you've made it this far in the video, put a watermelon. Put a watermelon in the conversation section. The comment section. I mean, it is a conversation section. Down below. Good job, Anna. God bless you, Rachel. I just caught that. Yeah, I'm gonna go back to talking about somebody who isn't making me want to, like, die slowly inside. We're gonna go back to talking about glitter and lasers for a little while here. And, yeah, and something about Rosie, I don't know. There you have it. I will see everybody in the next one. Don't forget, you got a watermelon as your emoji. And let me know what you guys think down below. And I will see everybody in the next video. Bye!
My outro music. You can't copyright strike me because it's just me singing. This is my outro music. Thank you for watching. See you next time.